everybody, welcome back to the Gaming Byte. So, in this segment on the Video Game Archives, we do a quick version of the news just to get it out of the way. There wasn't much in the news lately, but Xbox did get a little announcement on their specs for the Xbox Series X, so I think this whole video will just be focused on that and the features that I like and dislike, or the ones that don't really matter on how it's going to sell. So, let's get right into it. Alright, so first off, we know how powerful it's going to be now. It's roughly 2 times as powerful as the Xbox One X, 8 times the Xbox One. It's going to use an AMD processor. Yeah, that's all good. No one really cares. The average gamer just wants to know it's more powerful than the Xbox One X by a lot. Don't really care what's inside. Of course, it's going to be more powerful than the Xbox One X. We know that. By how much? A lot more now. But what will that actually translate into the games? That's the thing. Until we can see some trailers, and even those, that's hard to tell how powerful the console is, because a lot of times it's just a cinematic trailer. You're not going to be able to see the frame rate at home, because if you're just watching it on a regular television, you're only seeing it in 30 frames per second. You're not seeing it in its full glory. So it's nice that it's more powerful. I like it. Cool. Doesn't really mean much until we can see how it's actually going to affect. The big things that I think are going to affect it is the variable rate shading. I think basically that means if I'm looking at this camera, or you, that's as high as resolution they can probably get it. Everything on the end, they're going to try to lower the resolution or the power handling it so that this looks perfect. Which is awesome. If that's their trick to get 8K gaming at a reasonable frame rate, fine with that. That means this will look great. Everything outside of that will start dropping off. Maybe even 1080p. That's fine. Because when you're playing, you're focused on the main thing anyways. So as long as they give you a nice space, yeah, hopefully that's what that's guiding for, to give us 8K gaming on a console without having to overstress the console by making it so the focus point is awesome. Everything else is kind of off. It's kind of like VR, where they make it so when you're looking straight, everything looks good. But if you kind of look off a little bit without moving your head, that stuff looks horrible. For people that want to watch the game on the sideline, though, that may not look too nice for them, but we'll have to wait and see. The other feature that not a lot of people probably care about is ray tracing. Your shadows become more realistic, more immersive. I could care less. All games now have shadows. Yeah, the developer probably likes this better because it allows the console to do its thing. Not really a big deal for me. Visually, there's shadows. There's always shadows. I don't really pay attention to whether the shadow is really coming from that angle perfectly, or if the light, or if the mirror. The thing I like is the acoustics part. If that means that sounds will bounce off walls or hear from the exact point that they're supposed to be in relation to how you're standing, that's cool. Programmers don't have to dial that in themselves either. Sound is more important to me than visuals. As long as the visuals look normal, that's fine. But the sound, higher quality, better realistic, that's cool. Hopefully that's what they're working into. Other features that don't really matter too much. SD, the SSD hard drive. Yeah, faster load times for last gen games. Will that mean that the next gen games will be faster load times? How I look at it, I think they're just upgrading the SSD so that way the load times don't go too crazy out of control. Because the next console games will be more stuff in it, more things involved. So I think the SSD is just there to keep that load time down. I don't think it's ever going to be, oh, no load times at all. Yeah, we've seen the Sony display the Spider-Man game having almost no load times, but at the same time, that's a last-gen game. The next-gen games, you'll have a load time. I think it's just their way of keeping it from going out of control. Dynamic latency input. Another feature that I don't think many people care about that's not going to sell in the console is their wireless controllers will be less laggy, I guess. For a lot of people, they have no problems with it now. They play, it works, not really an issue. It's nice that there's an improvement. Keep improving, but it's not something that's really going to sell the casual fans on. HDMI 2.1, another one where it's like, it's nice that it's there. It keeps you future-proof, but most television users probably don't have a computer or a TV screen that handles that higher connection yet. So you're probably going to have to update your TV if you want that feature. 120 frame rate support. awesome. That'll probably be like 1080p. It definitely won't be 4K, but maybe the variable rate shading or whatever they want to go with is going to help make it so that maybe a 4K can get 120 if they take advantage of that and make it 4K 120 here and then 1080p on the outside. I don't know. It's one of those things you have to see it in person, because watching the trailer isn't really going to help you, because not many trailers, if any, can do 120 on YouTube. So 60 is the best you can get, but you're not going to really see the advantage. It's cool that it's there. You're going to have to see it hands-on, unfortunately. So it's not really another seller that I really care about. As long as we have 4K, 30, 60, I'm happy. If you can give me 8K 30, I'll do that more often than not. Most games, I don't really care if it's 30 to 60. I guess being a console gamer, I've never really had the opportunity to enjoy 60 plus to see the benefit. So I just prefer to have the sharper resolution than anything. Alright, the big features for me that I like, I kind of wish it sounds a little different than what I want, but all the games from all the Xboxes will be playable in the Xbox Series X. Asterisk. Basically, it sounds like all the Xbox One X games will play, or all the Xbox One games will play. All the Xbox 360s and Xbox originals are up to their patches again. So we gotta wait for them to work on it, make sure the game works, and play it. I kind of wish it was like the Wii or the PlayStation 3 or 2, where you just take your disc, put it in, it worked. That's it. So basically, that doesn't sound like it's going to be. It's going to have to wait for Microsoft to patch it. Yeah, it'll give you better looking games, sharper frame rates, all that. But how long do I have to wait for my game? The games that I want. I kind of wish they would just allow a patch. Every game could work, but you may not get that faster frame rate. It may just play like it originally did, and later on patch it. I would like them to maybe speed it up if that's the case. Yeah, they don't have to do this, so it's nice that they're doing it, but how long are we going to have to wait for most of the games to be there? I'd like to see 90% of the games from the Xbox 360 and originals be playable. At least all the exclusives and all the major big hits first, and then go to some of the little games that are like, oh, that's a cool game, I'm glad you put it on, but let's get to the bigger hits. Alright, instant immersion is another feature that I think is the best. The fact that I can pause a game, leave it to go in the menu and do some other stuff, and come back and it's ready. That was one of my favorite features of the last gen, or current gen. For next gen, Microsoft is looking to do multiple. I hope they do at least 4. So that way I can have one game, like a big game that I'm playing story driven, can back out to a small game where it's like I kind of just want to play around for a little bit to break up my time before I go do something. A third option, so that way if I get a new game, I kind of want to just check it out real quick. I don't got to close my other games. And a fourth option, just in case there's something else I want to try, but leave it open. That would be awesome. That way I can go in and out of games without loading. That's probably one of the coolest features that they've announced over everything else. I don't need 8K. I don't need faster loading. Convenient features like that is really nice. Now, smart delivery, another new feature I don't see anyone using. Basically, if you buy the game for the Xbox One X and it's available in the Series X, when you put it into your Series X, you'll get all the patches to make it look like it's the Series X version. Cool, love it. But Microsoft's first-party games are available on Game Pass, which means they'll be available on both, which means there's no reason to buy it, because you should have Game Pass if you're an Xbox fan. Why wouldn't you? So there's no really big reason for that. Third parties are going to want to sell their game twice. Yeah, a couple of them, like Cyberpunk, will be like, yeah, you shouldn't have to buy our game twice. That's awesome. Good PR. A lot of companies aren't going to care about that. I'd even accept the fact if I bought it for the Xbox One X and I want to put it in the Series X and there's only like a $10 download DLC patch to upgrade it, that'd be better than buying it outright. But let's not give them any more ideas. I don't see a lot of people using it. It's nice. I like it how it's there. It would have been nice when I bought GTA 5 for the 360 if I didn't have to pay for it again for the Xbox One. But since the games are backwards compatible anyways, even if you don't want to pay that money, You can still put it in and play it. It just won't be the updated version. So it's a cool feature. I don't think it'll get used very often. And speaking of the Xbox Game Pass, obviously all first-party games will be available on the Xbox Series X as well. I don't know how they make money off of this. I like it. I mean, I love physical. But if I can just play it for free with a bunch of other games, I'm buying it that way. And maybe if I really love the game, when it drops in price, I'll buy it physically just to have it. But I don't know how they're making money. But it's an awesome service. I love having a bunch of games on there that I didn't have to go out and buy and still get to play. So, yeah. All right, everybody. That's it. That's kind of the Xbox announcement so far. I think I'll be more excited when I see in-game play, at least full out, the best you can do it at the launch versus all this other news. So, let's find out. Do they expect themselves to do well? I think people are going to buy the Xbox no matter what. If you have one now, you're probably going to be upgrading to the next gen, or at least a decent amount of you. All their new features should sway people that were kind of upset with the Xbox One. I don't think it matters if they do better than PlayStation. I think they're both going to sell well. I don't think it matters which one's one or two. I think Xbox is trying to get as many people on services, and they don't care if you really buy their hardware, it sounds like. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Catch you later. See you tomorrow.